High nostril piercings, pros, cons, advantages, disadvantages. Coming up next on Pros and Cons by a Piercer, that's me, episode number 59, so stick around. For those who are new to the channel, my name is DaVo. I'm a professional body piercer and have been since 1994. I own and operate the Axiom Body Piercing Studio located here in sunny Des Moines, Iowa, inside the Skin Kitchen Tattoo. So when I talk to you about these things, I'm talking at a level of expertise as someone with over 25 years of experience in professionally piercing. So basically, I'm an expert. Today's topic came from one of our viewers, Julia Rog. I believe I'm pronouncing it right. If I'm not, let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for the topic. So, what is a high nostril? High nostril is done basically upward above a normal nostril piercing, just below that major bone structure. Usually about 1/8 of an inch down. It's basically just like a nostril piercing, but it's done much higher and usually at a slight angle. What I'm going to do today is we're going to give you the pros and cons of that particular piercing. I'm going to give you 5 of each, 5 advantages, 5 disadvantages, and then at the end give you a little bit of consultation of what I would give if you came into my studio and asked to get this piercing. So we're going to start out on a positive note with the pros, the advantages. Pro number 1, this is a very unusual piercing. It's not very common. Not a lot of people are out there walking around with it. In fact, I doubt that you've ever seen one in real life. I've done a few over the years. It's one of those piercings that kind of seems to come into vogue because it's on a fashion site and then vanish off the face of the earth again. Now, pro number 2. This is a fairly easy piercing to heal. Just like a nostril, it's going to take a little bit of time and care to get it through the healing process, but it has a long history of healing. It is basically going to heal about the same as a nostril piercing would, except it's higher on the body. Other than that, not really anything additional that you're going to have to deal with healing-wise, except possibly avoiding getting contact with glasses. Number 3, it is a somewhat socially acceptable piercing. Nostrils are quickly becoming one of the most socially accepted body piercings that are non-ear in society, Western society especially. Whether or not this is going to trip some triggers more so than, say, a normal nostril piercing, there's a possibility that it will, but it's a little bit more accepted than, let's say, a septum piercing. Number 4, there's a large variety of stud ends that you can choose from, especially if you go with the LeBray stud style, where you have a lot of different interchangeable ends that you can put on there, both threadless and threaded. With the nostril screws and L-bends, a little bit more limited, but there is still a fairly good variety of that stuff out there for you to choose from. Number 5, like any piercing through the cartilage, this piercing is not prone to migration or rejection. It pretty much stays exactly where it is once it's pierced. You're not going to have issues with worrying about this piercing rejecting. So with the pros out of the way, it's time to move on to the cons, the disadvantages, things we don't like about the piercing. The first one would be it's very difficult or can be very difficult to change this jewelry, especially if you're working with LeBray studs, which have that flat disc on the back, and then either a threaded or threadless end on the outside. The only way to really get the jewelry in is to basically use a additional tool known as a taper pin or a guide pin to actually push, basically you put it in this way, you'll line it up with inside the threadless or threaded stud, and then push it in this way and then close it. L-bends in nostril screws may be a little bit easier to take in and out, but they're also not quite as secure. So it's kind of a toss-up. With this one, unlike a nostril piercing, I think a L-bend is an easier piece of jewelry to wear in it. just basically because the tissue does tend to be a little thicker there, and getting that curvature through there can be sometimes very difficult when you can't really feel inside the nostril itself. So understand, if you get this piercing, it might be a piercing that you need to go see your piercer to have the jewelry change every time, or you may have to invest in some additional tools, including taper pins and hemostats, just to make that process easier. Number 2, you cannot sleep on this piercing. Just like any other piercing, just like a nostril piercing, sleeping on is going to cause a whole load of issues. I don't care how well it may feel to lay on it, because it usually doesn't hurt after a couple of weeks. That constant movement and pressure will cause issues that once they start, they can be very difficult to get rid of. So no sleeping on the piercing, and that might change your sleeping pattern. Number 3, this can affect employment. It can also affect whether or not you can participate in various different sports or competitive activities. Before you get this piercing done and you are employed or you're involved in any type of sporting, drama, anything that is performance-based, or, there might be some regulations about contact your employer or contact your coach before you get the piercing. There's not going to be any way to hide this piercing, and taking the jewelry in and out during the healing process is not a good idea. It's going to lead to issues. So always take that into account before getting a facial piercing. Number 4, cannot wear makeup or cosmetics in the area. Makeup and cosmetics can cause issues, including laryngeal cysts, that once that powder base starts getting into the piercing, it agitates it to the point. They're very ugly, they're very painful, and they're very hard to get rid of. So no makeup. Got to deal with shiny nose for a little while. Number 5, you are limited to stud-style jewelry. I really don't think there's any way you can wear a ring in this particular piercing, or a hoop, or any type of circular jewelry. Maybe a curved bar or a circular barbell if you bent it out. I don't know. I don't know why you would, but you should understand you are limited to stud style jewelry, just basically because of the location of the piercing. Kind of a bonus con, glasses. If you wear glasses on a regular basis, you want to be very conscious of whether or not that location is going to come in contact with the piercing. For example, if you wear reading glasses and you don't wear them all the time, when you go in to get the piercing done, bring along those glasses and make sure that when they mark it, you know whether or not it's going to come in contact with the piercing. Same thing with sunglasses and etc. If this piercing can somewhat limit certain style of glasses that you can wear, especially the ones that have that kind of separate earpiece or nose pieces, brackets, kind of foot type. You know what I'm talking about? Those are not going to be very comfortable. So let's get into the consultation. This is what I would tell you if you came into my studio and said, DaVo, I want to get a high nostril piercing. First thing I'm going to tell you is the average healing time can range anywhere from 8 to 16 weeks, during which time I'm going to suggest doing compresses with sterile saline solution like Nelmed wound wash or piercing wash. I'm also going to suggest that anytime you contaminate the area, that you clean it with an antimicrobial or germicidal soap. Cross-contamination prevention, common sense stuff. Wash your hands before you handle it. No oral contact. No exchange of bodily fluids on, near, around the piercing until it is completely healed. Keep your environment clean. Clothing, bedding, towels, anything that may come in contact with it. Do not submerge the piercing in bodies of water you cannot control the quality of, which is pretty much everything but your own clean bathtub. No swimming until it's healed. People, I don't want to have 15 comments of, hey, when can I go swimming? No, not until it heals. Also, you want to keep pets away from the area, especially small pets that like to sleep up next to your face and are attracted to shiny objects until it's completely healed. Do not sleep on the piercing. Sleep on your other side or your back. You're going to also want to avoid cosmetics in the area, especially powder-based or foundation makeups, until it is completely healed. The other thing is, if you use anything that comes out of a spray can or a squirt bottle in your hair, you're going to want to shield it with folded up paper towel. So that's it. That's the pros and cons of a high nostril piercing. If you feel like I didn't cover something or you have additional questions, please leave a comment. I generally answer them on a regular basis. If you like this video and you found it informative, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you like it, because we like it when you like it. Then go ahead and subscribe. We post roughly 4 to 5 videos with a focus on education about body piercing and tattooing. So if that interests you, this is where you need to be. And then hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we post something. If you like swag, if you're a stylish individual and you like clothing, t-shirts, and you're into body art, you might want to check out our merch store. Link is in the description. Also, there's the merch shelf down below for some of the examples. And I'll probably put up one of those cards over there, I think. It's weird. It's always backwards. So we'll just do this. One of those cards. Till next time, here's hoping all your piercings heal with ease and without a single issue. And if you're in the Des Moines, Iowa area, hope to see if your body piercing needs in the future. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you for watching. Go out there and do something exciting. Get a piercing, get a tattoo, or, just go get an ice cream. Everybody likes ice cream, right? See you next time.